Alright, there we go. We just won our final match on an 8-win streak, beating Emancipator to hit Diamond with Floowandereeze. So 300 gems in the gift box. 4 tickets, 3,900. No, just 100 off the extra gift. But yeah, hit Diamond 5. Oh man, it doesn't show that we were on an 8-win streak, but yeah, we were here, so pretty good. Just beat Emancipator. Beat Eldlich. Sword Soul. Sprite. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing these matches, stay tuned. Alright, to start off, I'm going to review the Eldlich game. I will post up the other matches in another video, but let's go ahead and get started on this review. We win the coin toss and opt to go first, so that's nice. We start off with an extravagance and a duality. And off this duality, it took me a while to determine what I would want to take. Let me know in the comment section what you would probably take out of these three. All are very strong cards. The Dark Ruler obviously has no utility right now going first, but is potentially strong on follow-up. The Advent is potential dodge of an interruption. So I do have double called by, which can stop Ash Blossom, Ghost Ogre, Effect Veiler, etc. But I don't have anything to stop an Imperm, right? If I activate Map, reveal Stree, banish Robina, summon Stree, bring back Robina, normal summon Robina, they can either Imperm the Robina and I'd have no follow-up out of that, or they allow me to search for Eaglin, summon Eaglin, they stop the Eaglin by Imperming the Eaglin. Now I have 3 birds on board, no more birds in hand, don't get my search for a tribute monster, and I'm kind of dead in the water. So I thought the safest bet would be taking Advent. The other option that I was really considering is the Fossil Dyna here, because again, this is a very powerful Floodgate, just normal summoning this. If I was able to get this and the Empin on board, like have my full rotation going, it would have been very, very strong. But I opt to play super safe because this is my rank up game, and I'm like, let me just make sure that I get my full like engine in rotation. And so that's what we opt to do. So we have basically full protection against any kind of negate. I guess the only negate that could potentially stop us, no, not even. Even if they had Gamma, we would just Advent for another bird for follow-up. They could Gamma. Yeah, no, Gamma. This plays around Gamma entirely as well, because if they end up Gamma-ing like the Robina, we would just we would still have the Stree on board. The Robina would be destroyed and negated, but we would chain Advent on the Robina to get it off the field, bring the Eaglin, and then normal summon Eaglin. That plays around the Gamma. If they end up trying to Gamma the Eaglin, we chain Advent, banish the Eaglin, search for Empin anyways off of Advent instead of off of Eaglin. So this fully like allows me to play through any potential interruptions that the opponent might have, right? And this is super strong. Also with this setup, it's only 4 summons, so we're not playing into Nibiru either. So this was like the safest bet. So that's kind of my thinking behind those decisions. We can't bring back Robina because it was banished with Map, and we brought it back already. And we're fully committing here. We're not afraid of Lightning Storm or Duster, which is kind of risky, but we set the whole hand basically because I guess, you know, you look at this, what's activatable here? If they Dustered us, we could chain Advent, banish the Empin, and then just get the Empin banished, and then bring it back with a Toucan that we can search off of the Robina here. And we would activate Dreaming Town to get our summons off, and we'd probably set up Empin and Apex, right? So again, this is the thinking behind some of these plays. So the opponent also starts off with Extravagance, and I'm just like, oh no, don't tell me it's like Labyrinth or a mirror match, please. So they attempted to go Battle Phase here, that's why I activated Dreaming Town. I knew they were probably baiting me, but because I saw the Extravagance, I'm like, yeah, there's a good chance they're playing Board Breakers. So we just play it safe, and you can see here that I only did the Eaglin, bringing back Robina, Eaglin search for Apex, and summon Apex. I don't want to use the rest of my birds because I want to save the rest of them for the normal summon to trigger Map, so I can start getting my other birds in rotation. If I'm able to negate something with Apex, I can bring it back to my hand and then activate Map, normal summon, bring Apex back to the field for a second negate in the turn. So let's see what the opponent opts to do. Oh, they reveal they're playing Eldlich. So they do attempt to out the unexplored winds, and we're going to negate that for sure. Now, Eldlich doesn't really play normal summons, right? So at this point, I'm anticipating that they're going to have a lot of back row and try to get the Eldlich back on field, right? Thankfully, we do have the called by, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're pretty ahead here, stopping the Eldlich from outing our spells and traps, and they don't have a monster on board, which means these kind of cards, the Hiquero here is not going to be live to pop a card on the field. or banish a card from either graveyard, I should say, or any other spells that they have, or sorry, traps that they have to also like pop cards in the field, etc. Because they don't have an Eldlich in rotation. So they could have a Sanguine set. We do have to worry about that, but more than likely, you know, Eldlich up in this rank, it's likely playing a lot of Floodgates, and that's what I'm banking on, right? So I have to play very smart here. I can have one monster on board, right, with Floodgates. They could have Skill Drain, Goes in Match, Rivalry. There can only be one. What else could they have? Summon Limit, etc. So the one that really hurts Floowandereeze is there can only be one. As long as we don't run into that right away, we should be fine. So they pass the turn with a bunch of back row. We know that this is a Huequero, and these are likely Floodgates. So I draw Empin, which is okay, because we have the Unexplored Winds, and they reveal Goes in Match. So this is going to lock me into Wind, which is fine, because all of my tribute monsters are Wind. It just means we can't play Robina or Stree. Okay, that's fine. So what we're going to do first is I want to get this Apex on board to potentially negate another Floodgate, because I don't care about the Huequero. I can play through this Goes in Match. It's only these other two cards that I care about. And so what I can do here is, with priority in main phase 1 back to me, I'm going to use the Unexplored Winds, tribute my Empin, and one of these two cards to get the Apex on board. This will do two things. It will out one of these other two mystery Floodgates potentially, as well as with the Apex on board, I can negate the other Floodgate. Now, what I can also do for follow-up after I get the Apex on board, trigger map, reveal Eaglin, banish a card, doesn't matter what it is, normal summon Eaglin, and then search for Ryza, and then tribute the Goes in Match and the Eaglin for Empin. This is all within Wind, right? Staying within the limitations of Goes in Match. So I have the total out to anything the opponent might play. Out one of these two back rows with Unexplored Winds, out the other face down with Apex, assuming that they don't chain block the activation with Huequero, and then out the Goes in Match with Eaglin, searching for a tribute summon monster using this and the Unexplored Winds again to tribute off Goes in Match. That makes my Robina and Stree live. So that's kind of the thinking behind what we do here. So that's why you see the first action we take is putting down that Apex. You can't see it here, but I actually outed a Skill Drain, so that was really good. And then I'm going to go ahead and activate map after that, and then they know that, you know, whatever Floodgate this is, unless it's there can only be one, it's pretty much GG's at this point. And we do have another Called By in hand to prevent like another Eldlich from hitting the board, right? So yeah, that's how we win that game. That was our Platinum 1. It's been busy, but the next match I want to show you here is actually our first Diamond game. So let's get into this one now. Alright, our first Diamond 5 game, and we are going second, so our hand is pretty good. We've got the Dark Ruler and map with Toucan. I'm really going to miss it when it goes to 1, man. It's going to really suck, but we are going up against Branded. This guy was on his rank up game too. So he's going to set up a standard Branded board. You know, we already know what to expect at this point. They send the Albaz and Tragedy. They search ad libitum of Tragedy. They go into Mirror Jade, banish their own Aluber in order to set a Branded in red during the end phase. So let's actually break this down just like we did with the last match. The opponent's end board here is 3 face downs. We know one is a Branded in red, right? You do have to fear the Imperm, but if I normal summon the Fossil Dyna, it will limit the Branded in red to only allowing him to bring back the Tragedy. And that would stop the special summon of anything else as well, right? So they've already used Mirror Jade. Stopping this Branded in red means that they won't be able to Guardian Chimera and then use the ad libitum they brought to their hand to bring back the Mirror Jade. So on the first action we take on our turn after we draw, and we draw a Called By, which is really good, is we're going to summon Fossil Dyna. And then we're going to use the Duster, because we know, again, the Branded in red won't be able to fusion summon now. So they just bring back the Tragedy, and then we destroy the rest of their cards, and they revealed Called By and Designator. So nothing that's too threatening to us, but still good to get those off the field because the crossout could definitely negate our Called By potentially. So now we're going to activate map. So we already used our normal summon for turn with the Fossil Dyna, but now we are going to use map, reveal Toucan, banish Robina, and I don't have to worry about an Imperm from the hand obviously because they have a Mirror Jade on field. There's virtually no interruption at this point unless the opponent has an Ash Blossom, but we have the Called By, so we're good. Any hand trap they have, Veiler, Ghost Ogre, Ash Blossom, you know, it's going to get Called By, so we're totally fine. This Dark Ruler, we don't even need to use it, because again, the Mirror Jade isn't live, it used its effect last turn. And we're going to go ahead and actually search out Ryza here. So again, you may wonder, this is pretty odd, why are you doing it this way? Because again, I don't want to go into Empin, get the trap, and then try to beat over this Mirror Jade, then Mirror Jade triggers and destroys all the monsters on my field. I lose the Fossil Dyna, I would lose the Empin, and then the opponent could just have amazing follow-up next turn, right? So we're going to go with the Ryza, and this is going to do a couple things. So it's going to get the Mirror Jade off the field where the effect will not activate. It's going to put a dead branded in red to the top of their deck for a dead draw. We know they have Ad Libitum and they have Tragedy, and they're going to draw into a branded in red. Right? None of those things are really usable. If they try to normal summon Tragedy and crash, it will trigger Map. Map will get the Robina back into rotation, because we're going to bring back the Eaglin right here. Yep, so we got a bird. We're gonna bring back both birds because the opponent clearly doesn't have Ash. And they're going to draw into a branded in red, so they're not going to draw into Ash either. And we set the call by anyways. But regardless, when we summon Robina, we're going to search Stree, and when we summon Stree, it will banish the branded fusion from their graveyard, so they wouldn't be able to crash Tragedy, banish it, and bring back the branded fusion if they try to normal summon Tragedy Suicide. But even if they brought back branded fusion, like if they don't have an out to Fossil Dyna, right, they can't use the branded fusion anyways. But we're just playing like complete control of the opponent right now. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. They have to normal summon, right? They can't special summon because of Fossil Dyna. They don't have any. They could have a board breaker, I guess. They could have like a Duster or a Dark Hole or Raigeki. That would be pretty good because it would allow them to play the normal summon. But they would have to have like Aluber, which of course they do. They play a 50 card deck here, and they have both the Alubers. That's pretty amazing. It's limited to 2, but hey, that's how it goes. They're going to search for a branded in High Spirits, which is interesting, but their normal summon will trigger the Map. And again, this is going to protect Fossil Dyna, so they could just go Battle Phase, beat over Fossil Dyna, and then their branded cards would be live to special summon. But we're not going to let them do that because Eaglin will search Empin, but they're going to chain branded in High Spirits, reveal and discard the Tragedy. So this sends, it doesn't, it's not like a cost, so they will be able to get Tragedy effect. And I think they brought to hand, yeah, Albion the Shrouded Dragon. So this will allow them to pitch like a branded Retribution, banish the Retribution, and get back a branded spell or trap as well. So that's pretty good. But again, we're going to stop it. So we search Empin, and then we summon Robina, search Stree. Okay, they're going to priority on their turn, so they're going to do Tragedy first. We're going to actually called by that. So, you know, looking back, I should have called by the branded in red play in the first place because it just would have put them on one fewer resource. But, you know, again, we had to save it to see what they were going to do. So it's fine either way. The Stree is indeed going to banish the branded fusion. And then we're going to go into Empin. And, you know, we're playing more on the opponent's turn than they're playing on our turn. So this is pretty interesting. We're going to actually search, and this is another good point to make. We search the unexplored winds here because this will be usable on our turn right away. If we search Trap there, what's the point? We'd have to set Trap and then wait for the opponent's turn to use it. This we can use right away, and then we can always bring another Empin into rotation because we're going to tribute for Ryza, getting the Eaglin off the field and back to our hand. So when we summon Eaglin again during our turn, we'll search for another Empin and then use that Empin to search for Trap. So this just gives us immediate follow-up during our next turn. That's why we search for Unexplored Winds over Trap right now. So on the final summon from Resolving Map, we are targeting the Aluber on field and the branded in High Spirit. So this gets them off of all branded spells and traps. And that's going to mean that they can't bring back anything because this card is recurable. I think during the end phase, if a fusion monster was sent to the graveyard during this turn, you can add this card from the graveyard to the hand. So this is just like a free resource. They just, because they did send this El Shadal card to the graveyard, they just bring branded in High Spirits back to their hand. Not sure why they sent this, because they don't have a Shadal card in their graveyard. I don't know if they're only playing like one Aluber, or sorry, one Albion, or they're not playing the other El Shadal card that allows you to search your deck for a Shadal like Schism. But that's the one they should have sent probably, or you know, they have some other crazy strategy in mind that just got foiled. So they're going to try to use the Dragon here, pitch the Retribution, but they have absolutely zero follow-up, and we're going to OTK them next turn, going into double Empin. So they see the writing on the wall and they scoop it up. So you can see again, using Floowandereeze, playing through the interruptions and going second, just thinking through the process there, you're able to come out on top.